Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
folks, today is April 7th, 2026. Coming up on Rolling Unfiltered. Actually, we're just going to skip our intro. I am live 2 blocks from our studio. This is Lafayette Park, and you have of course, a number of protesters out here who are protesting the war in Iran. The United States, of course, aligning with Israel in this particular battle. And so we're going to be talking about that. Also, we're going to talk about the issue of voting that we've been dealing with as well. So let's do this here. Lots to talk about. So let's do this here. I want to go to my first guest, folks. Deal with Tennessee voters, of course, have been focusing on voter suppression in that state, where Tennessee, they are saying that a number of people may not be registered to vote. Let's pull up our guest right now. Amber Sherman, the Tennessee regional organizer for Black Voters Matter. They are expressing concerns regarding the need for Tennessee to have their own state voting rights act. Amber, we're hearing that in a lot of other places as well because not having the protections in the U.S. Supreme Court. Explain to the audience why there's a call for Tennessee to have its own voting rights act.
Yeah, I mean, the main reason is because, we are waiting for the Supreme Court decision where Section 2 might get gutted. And so the best way to protect Tennesseans and make sure they have their rights to vote is to have a state voting rights act, which would put those federal laws actually into a state law that's protected. And so we won't have to worry about the many issues we're having with folks being able to vote, the access to vote. Just last month in Memphis and parts of Tennessee, people were checking their voter status and it wasn't coming up to the point where our Secretary of State himself, Trey Hargett, looked up his own voting record and couldn't find him either. And there was a glitch in the system and they had no protocol in place for when something like that happens. And so a lot of people are nervous that they aren't even going to be able to vote or that they're going to have another glitch on Election Day.
And so how are y'all letting people know what's going on? Bottom line is Election Day, of course, is going to be in November. Republicans run Tennessee, so what you're describing may not happen.
So we have 3 elections this year. The first one's actually on May 5th for local offices here in Memphis, and we are a Democratic stronghold. And so we want to make sure that, locally we have folks who can fight for us and make sure they're, putting our voting rights in the forefront. And we do have representatives who actually have been fighting for us for a few years. It just passed a huge bill, HB 687, for voting rights that would allow people who have had their voting rights taken away due to felonies to get their voting rights back, even for folks who are back child support. If you have child support that's behind and you're not on a payment plan that's active, you're not able to get your votes back. And so this would allow even those people, which would impact about 500,000 Tennesseans are being impacted by this because they can't get their rights back unless they have that balance paid off or they have their court costs and fees paid off. And now, as long as that person is current on both child support and court costs and fees, then they can get their votes restored.
And so obviously, look, you've got a primary coming up. Then, of course, we have what's going to be happening for the general election. And so, what is the alert system? How are you talking to people? How are you alerting them? And how are you bringing in others to also get people focused on being to check their status? Because we know how Republicans across the country want to suppress voting rights.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing it in a multitude of ways. Our partners here in Tennessee are canvassing, they're phone banking, they're having community events to make sure folks know how to check their status, make sure they have the proper ID to vote. And if they don't have the ID to vote, getting them the resources to get a free ID so they can make sure they're able to vote. And also making sure that we do have an alert system set up. And so similarly, in other situations with Black Voters Matters, when we have had states who have had issues on Election Day, we've been able to send out text messages to Black voters. And so we'll for sure be doing that if something does happen in Tennessee. But our hope is that there are no issues and that as we're leading up to our May election, August election, November election, we're getting people out to vote and getting them the information they need and they're able to exercise their right.
All right, then. If folks want more information, where do they go?
They can go to blackvotersmatter.org. It's also Black Voters Matter on Instagram with no A in the middle.
Okay. All right, Amber. We appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. Folks, I'm here again in front of Lafayette Park here in the nation's capital, which sits right in front of the White House. And you have this protest here regarding the war happening in Iran. Now, check this out. Earlier today, Donald Trump sent out this statement on Truth Social. This shows how nuts this guy is. He said a whole civilization will die tonight. never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world, 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. So that's what Donald Trump actually tweeted. I want to bring in my panel right now and talk about this madness. Dr. Mustafa Santiago Lee, former senior advisor for environmental justice at the EPA, joining us from D.C. Randy Bryant, entrepreneur, author, speaker, creator of a Truthing Game out of D.C. Dr. Larry J. Walker, associate professor, University of Central Florida, out of Orlando. And so I'm gonna walk over here, y'all. So I want to hear y'all, so y'all can hear some of the speakers who are here in front of Lafayette Park. Here we go. Hold on.
Please give it up.
The National Iranian American Council. The President of the United States has threatened the destruction of an entire civilization.
Hi, how you doing? Hear me okay?
What's that?
A military target and a civilization. You cannot say this is right.
I mean, to listen to that statement, Mustafa, to listen to Donald Trump post the end of a civilization. And what's crazy to me, Mustafa, is to listen to MAGA folks say, oh, well, this is part of his negotiating tactic. What do you say?
I say that there are 90 million people in Iran. I say there are 20 million children that are in Iran. So when you talk about annihilating a whole country, when you talk about taking people back to, I forget how he said it, the Dark Ages or the Stone Ages, whatever it might be, that speaks to, unfortunately, someone who is disconnected from humanity, someone who feels that war is always the answer because you have a few more dollars, a few more missiles, a few more guns, those different types of things. And we have become desensitized. We become desensitized to destruction. We become desensitized to death. So when you hear him say things like that, he sounds like other despots over the years, other authoritarians who have literally caused genocide to happen in many locations, across our planet. And we have to, re-embrace our humanity. We have to make sure that we are standing up for, what is right. And unfortunately, we are being led by an individual who doesn't seem to care about life, doesn't seem to care about children, doesn't seem to care about a future, and is willing to take us deeper into a war that could escalate into something that, is much more deadly than has been so far. And it has already been deadly for both our soldiers and for the folks who are living there.
Larry, this is the sheer stupidity of MAGA. This is Clay Travis. He goes, Donald Trump has made hyperbolic comments as part of negotiating tactics for a full decade, especially on social media. And yet people still run around like insane people reacting to his posts on here. Truly don't get it. How about this, you idiot? He's sitting in the Oval Office. So what? We're supposed to say, let's not take him seriously by threatening to end civilization of an entire nation of 90 million people tonight. That's how stupid MAGA people are. If Joe Biden or Barack Obama did that as president of the United States, these people would be losing their minds.
They absolutely would. And listen, this is not a reality TV show. This is not a game, and this is very, very serious. And I think we need to make the connection between the language you saw posted today and the language that the president, VP, and other right-wingers had made about immigrants and other groups. This is part of that journey of troubling language in terms as it relates to how we should view various populations, various groups. And to ignore it is dangerous. We also have to acknowledge that he literally has his finger on the largest nuclear arsenal in the world. And ignoring this, we ignore it at his own peril. And listen, the strait is closed. We're seeing geopolitical, economic challenges as it relates to not only the United States, but other places. And this is intensified to a breaking point. Now, whether he decides to do something at 8 p.m. tonight or use troops to invade Iran or off the coast, we're in it right now. And it's going to be really important for Republicans, more than the two I've seen speak up and put out statements today, to say something before we find ourselves at the edge of a knife and then there's no coming back.
Brandy?
It's been hard for me to function throughout today because I don't believe that people are understanding the severity of what's happening right now. I mean, yes, Trump has talked crazy since his first time in office, but I believe that his mental health has actually become worse. And so we're sitting here depending on a madman to have some sense. And there is a whole civilization that is at risk. And if we're honest, Trump does not like people that are different from him. And so I don't even think he sees Iranians as people. And I think that when he says wipe away a civilization, he very well is capable of that. And so, what I don't understand are all the people that, we send to defend. And it seems like even Republicans, even MAGA would say, okay, this has gone too far. And the suggestion that someone would say, this is just part of his negotiating tactics, who would trust him? I mean, who would trust that he is negotiating as if he's a person who is wise? The man couldn't negotiate and run his businesses. All his businesses went out of business. So why would we trust that he's simply negotiating and threatening an entire country, an entire genocide because of what? Oil. I don't trust it. I'm frankly just very nervous.
Absolutely. And obviously, we've seen the impact on the economy as a result of the action in Iran. And Trump keeps issuing threat after threat. The Iranians are not backing down. They refuse to engage in a ceasefire. And so basically what they're saying is, I dare you. So we'll see what happens. Let's go do this here. We're going to go to a quick break. We're going to come back more live here. We've got more interviews, but more live here from Lafayette Park, here in the nation's capital, as they are protesting this war with Iran in front of the White House. You're watching Rolling on Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Protect your mind. I love you, son. And your mother. More than anything. And I'm gonna keep doing the best I can to prove it.
If you're seeing it in your mind, you can create it. Protect your mind, son. It's your greatest asset. Protect your mind.
MAGA Republicans ended diversity programs, cut funding for Black students, and fired federal employees. And they won't stop there. Now, they've redrawn congressional maps so that they can rig the November elections. But we have the power to stop them. By voting yes for fair elections, we have the final say on who represents us in Congress. This is a temporary measure to restore fairness. They are not backing down, and neither can we. Make a plan to vote by April 21st and vote yes for fair elections.
With medicine and science under attack, I want to keep you and your family informed and healthy. I'm Dr. Ebony Hilton, and I knew at the age of 8 that I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied hard and became the first African-American female anesthesiologist hired at the Medical University of South Carolina since its opening in 1824. And I always say I was made into a doctor, but I was born to be a mom. And as a new mom, wife, sister, daughter, and friend, I understand how frightening a medical crisis can be. I care for individuals on some of the worst days of their lives, and it's my mission to provide you with a safe space to gain clarity on issues affecting your mind, body, and soul. I recognize that there are health disparities, particularly as it pertains to race, and I want to help bridge the gap between you and your healthcare providers. Join me every Thursday for Second Opinion on the Black Star Network, where each week I'll invite experts from various medical fields to share the latest health news. We'll discuss topics such as the vaccine debate, mental and sexual health, medical bias, infertility, menopause, andropause, nutrition, and aging. Together with my medical colleagues, we aim to provide you with a second opinion. Don't miss it, Thursdays only on the Black Star Network.
A decade of love, joy, and power. Black Voters Matter is 10 years old, and we are just getting started. This is love with a purpose. This is Black joy in motion. This is unstoppable power. Across campuses, neighborhoods, and back roads. Let's go! We show up, not just to vote, but to be seen, to be heard, to belong. We ride together, we organize together. We remind each other that our voices matter, because they always have. Black Voters Matter is about more than ballots. It's about housing and healthcare, clean water and living wages, education, reproductive freedom, and dignity. It's about turning pain into action, turning belief into movement, turning community into power. We don't wait to be invited. We bring the energy. We bring the love. We bring the people. Because when Black communities come together, we don't just survive, we thrive. This is how change happens. This is how history moves. We organize, we build, we win.
Hey everybody, I'm T.D. Jakes, and I want to encourage you to watch Roland Martin Unfiltered. It'll blow your mind.
All right, folks, welcome back here. We're at this rally in front of the White House. Let me flip this camera here so you guys can see the people out here. I'm also change the microphone so you can hear some of the speakers. Hold on one second.
$400 million in weapons and shipping companies complicit in genocide. So we know to break these chains, to break the chains of imperialism, we need to expand our power, to expand our organizing right here in the Imperial Court. So to join the campaign, go to VRS Divest sign the petition, and reach out to the Palestinian youth movement to join us. Reach out to the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Reach out to Code Pink, to NIAC, to any one of the dozens of organizations here to continue this fight until Iran is free and until Palestine is free from the river to the sea. Thank you. Brick by brick and wall by wall. Brick by brick and wall by wall. Zionism will fall. Zionism will fall. Brick by brick and wall by wall. Brick by brick and wall by wall. Zionism will fall. Zionism will fall. Brick by brick and wall by wall. Brick by brick and wall by wall. Zionism will fall. Zionism will fall. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Within our lifetime. Within our lifetime. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Within our lifetime. Within our lifetime. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Within our lifetime. Within our lifetime. No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air. No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air. U.S. out everywhere. U.S. out everywhere. No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air. No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air. U.S. out everywhere. U.S. out everywhere. Said no boots on the ground, no bombs in the air. No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air. U.S. out everywhere. U.S. out everywhere. Okay, now we're gonna have a speaker from Code Pink come up. Anti-imperialist feminists who know that since 1979 there has been 47 uninterrupted years of war against the Iranian people. When they opposed war upon us between Iran and Iraq. When they sanctioned us, depriving our children of medicine, of food, of the things they need to live. Whether they bombed us in June of last year, or they bombed us now. Now please welcome up Bita from Code Pink. Hands off Iran! Hands off Iran! Hands off Iran! Hands off Iran!
Hello, everyone. My name is Bita. I'm an Iranian American. I'm an organizer and volunteer with Code Pink. I stood in front of you all when this illegal attack on my homeland began. The day that almost 200 school children were killed by bombs. Bombs we pay for with our tax dollars. And today I stand here again as the President of the United States threatens to annihilate my people, my country. And still, none of this is surprising. Not only because for years, across administrations, when I see my friends from our region of the world, we don't greet each other anymore by saying, "How are you?" Instead, we greet each other by saying, "Have you heard from your family?" But also because this country is rooted in genocide. Talk about it. It is not some sort of break from the past. It is the foundation of this country. Talk about it. And the Zionist apartheid regime occupying Palestine, Palestine operates on the same logic. Displacement, occupation, ethnic cleansing, all funded, armed, and protected using our tax dollars. And from Palestine, where we are still witnessing an ongoing genocide in real time, to Lebanon actively being ethnically cleansed, to Iran being threatened with complete annihilation, to watching our black and brown neighbors being targeted right here on our own streets. Talk about it. This is a continuous pattern of violence that is all rooted in the same system. And guess what? Whatever part of that seems far away right now will not not shocking. They are exactly what the system is built to produce: power, profit, and expanding Western imperialism at the cost of human lives and the planet. And the psychological warfare we are experiencing as we wait to see what devastation they're going to cause next is part of their strategy. We wait for a message or call. We wait to find out if the people we love are still alive. But when we look to the people in our homeland, we see more than that. We see resistance.
That's right.
There are 90 million people in Iran right now waiting to see what comes next, but they're not just sitting around waiting. There are images coming out of Iran right now. We see people standing strong. We see Iranians of all ages linking arms across the very bridges they're fighting to destroy. That is a lesson we have learned from every country threatened from these genocidal entities, and from watching as these politicians in suits who have had years to choose humanity instead of war repeatedly choose war. They choose profit. They choose to fund the killing of babies instead of funding our communities.
Bring back the guillotine!
War has long been bipartisan. The Epstein class has long been bipartisan. They write statements, they send tweets, and then they move on. It is our responsibility to keep up the pressure. They work for us. Keep us safe. We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
We've learned that we must be the ones that move us forward. It is our collective resistance that will shape what comes next. A future where human life comes before war, where money funds care and not destruction, and where people matter more than profit. So please, I thank every single one of you for being here today. But don't let this be something where you go home and you return to business as usual. Talk to someone, organize, build with your community, join movements, join organizations. Speaking of which, tomorrow, if you want to join us in the halls of Congress, you can meet us at 10 a.m. in the Rayburn building so we can keep up the pressure on these politicians that think they can tweet something and then go home. And on Thursday night at the House of Palestine, Coach Pink is doing a bird dogging training. So please join us for that at 5:30. Come and learn how to hold these people accountable and continue to connect with your communities and continue to get out on these streets. We cannot stay quiet. We are the ones that have the power. Who has the power? We have the power! Thank you.
All right, I'm going to go back to our panel here. Let me say this here. Bring in Mustafa, Larry, and Randy as the protest continues. And so I want to read for y'all. Again, what we have here is something that is pretty much insane. In this country, we have this diplomacy by social media. And so moments ago, the crazed person sitting in the Oval Office sent out this particular post on Truth Social. Let me read this for our panel. Based on conversations with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir of Pakistan, and wherein they requested that I hold off the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran, and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, I agreed to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. Let me make sure my audio is on. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives and are very far along with the definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We've received a 10-point proposal we received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. On behalf of the United States of America as president and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it is an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Mustafa, here's the problem. We've heard this crap before. We've heard Donald Trump proclaim these things, and for Iran to come out and say it's not true. So the question is, who can actually believe anything that he says? He comes off as a madman. Who the hell negotiates a war on social media?
Nobody we've ever seen before. It doesn't make much sense. Of course, there are those conversations that are happening behind the scenes, but you don't tell people what your war plan is. You don't tell people I'm bombing you at whatever the time is, 8 o'clock on a Tuesday evening. So this is all, it's not just dystopian. It is just irresponsible, and it's dangerously irresponsible, whether about how the diplomacy is going or the war actions that are going on. Most folks don't travel, and I understand that. So let me just share with folks real quickly. Iran is an ancient civilization. It's over 6,000 years old. And if you ever go to many of the countries in the Middle East, the cities look like our cities. So a part of the dehumanizing is helping and making sure that you think that the folks don't live like you, don't love like you, don't care like you. And that's how they're able to get away with some of this stuff by, desensitizing us. And so, when you see a president who continues to, spout all this disinformation and misinformation, we've just got to be mindful of what's really going on. And we've also got to understand, as Marvin Gaye said, that war is not the answer. So we should always be focused on diplomacy, and we should always be focused on making sure that people are protected in both our country and in other lands.
And Randy, we've seen how Donald Trump and his cohorts have manipulated the stock market. He'll come out and say, we have a deal, stock market goes up. And then you don't have a deal, stock market goes down. And so no one knows for real if what he's saying is the truth or not. This is the reality of who this man is. He cannot be trusted. Again, we've never had, you had presidents who have utilized media, things along those lines. This is different when he posts whatever on social media, and then what? We're supposed to believe it, not believe it? Again, right, Rick played Travis earlier, like, well, this is his posturing. Well, what the hell is this? Is this posturing or is this real?
Right. And one thing we do know for a fact about Donald Trump is that he is a liar. He has been consistently lying since the beginning of his tenure, and he continues to do so. So we don't know what is real and what is not. What we also know is that he is very focused on making money for himself and for his cohorts. And so he is manipulating the stock market. We cannot call it anything else but insider trading. We've seen how people have dumped stocks and bought stocks in concert with his demands and with his madness. And people are making, a lot of people are making a lot of money, as most Americans can't even afford to put gas in their tanks right now. There's so much going on that we don't even know what the reasoning is for us being in Iran. And the only people who support him are those who want to support him in whatever he does, including threatening to wipe out an entire civilization.
Absolutely. And that really goes to it, Larry. You don't know what to believe. This man lies about lies. And so he could be posting this and then go, oh, that was our rules, we're still going to attack. But it is insane to think that someone is threatening to destroy an entire civilization. That is not the language that should be coming from a commander-in-chief.
Not at all. And, Mustafa hit on, a number of important points in terms of how old Iran is as a civilization going back thousands of years. But Roland, this is a complete contradiction what we've heard not only in posts of social media, but the last couple of days in press conferences, when he's used very graphic language in terms of wiping Iran off the face of the earth. And these are not the kind of comments you hear from a country run by, led by someone who believes in democracy and fairness and international law. And you've heard many commentators talk about not only the language and possible actions will be war crimes. And I think this is a really important point that shouldn't be lost on when we talk about the rhetoric. The other important point, Roland, as relates to that statement is the strait is not open. And they're not going to open the strait because it is a strategic they have a strategic stranglehold on maintaining or keeping the United States and Israel in terms of some of these attacks to at least minimize them and protect the nation. So they're not going to open a strait, and they may never. It is straight in terms of who passes in and out. May never be the same regardless of whatever agreement is reached to in a couple of weeks, couple of months, or a couple of years. But the bottom line is that this is a very dangerous time. In a couple of days, he could decide to use soldiers to invade Iran. We don't know. I mean, we've heard everything's a 360. One day you hear destroy, next day is we got a peace agreement. And the 10-point plan that he's talking about with Iran, they're going to want each action item. And I'm not quite sure as president or whoever's negotiating on behalf of the United States that he would agree to it. And so we're going to find ourselves resetting on this issue in the next 24 to 72 hours.
Absolutely. So I just want to give folks again another shot here. So you'll see here, we are here on what we call Black Lives Matter, what used to be here, but the Republicans forced the city of Washington, D.C. To take it up. And so this is literally one block from the White House. And so you got the hotel here. So you see in the back there. So the protesters are standing here along the street of 16th and H. Now, protests used to take place in Lafayette Park, but Donald Trump, it's like the first time they have cordoned off Lafayette Park. And so you used to have protests take place literally right in front of the White House. But Donald Trump has refused to allow that to happen. Let me just give y'all a sense of now what this looks like.
They are two sparks of the same light.
This wasn't here when Joe Biden was here. But this is what Trump has decided to put back since he came back. So you see them, they've erected this huge fence right here that sits in front of Lafayette Park. And so, and you see them, of course, they've been destroying, they've destroyed the East Wing, and so they have blocked off Lafayette Park. And so protests used to take place right here in this park, right in front of the White House. And so you see, I'll zoom in, you might see that tall fence that was there. Of course, that was put up the first time Trump was here because he was too scared of protesters. And so as a result, what they've done is they've now erected this. And so folks are protesting here, right here at 16th and H. And so this has really become the place where folks protest because, as you see, they're completely taken over Lafayette Park, where people used to be able to go. And so if you came to Washington, D.C., you used to be able to go and, let me see if I can raise this stick up any higher, go above the fence line. And so you'll see right here, they used to be able to go in front, be able to protest right in front of the White House, but not anymore. So you have all of this construction that exists right here. And so even if you go on the side of the Treasury Department over there, you're really going to be on the street there. And then over here, where the old executive office building is. And so you no longer have it where you can actually protest directly in front of the White House. And so you see folks are right here banging on this fence and screaming. And it was to the point that when Nixon was president and other presidents, they could be protesting in front of the White House, and they could actually hear them inside of the White House. But you now have some distance from the location. So I'm going to switch my microphone, and you can hear the folks. So I'm about to walk back over here. And so again, sorry, I'm live right now. Sorry. So you see, again, you have folks who are still out here to finish the rest of our show. So people are still speaking here. More people have actually gathered outside at 16th and 8th here in Washington, D.C. To protest this military action where the United States has gone Israel in trying to take out the leadership in Iran to rid them on their nuclear weapons, and the Iranians have been fighting back. And so the real question is, based upon this last post by Donald Trump, will we actually see a ceasefire? Will that actually take place? We don't know if that is actually going to take place. But this is what we're now seeing is diplomacy by social media. And so these folks out here certainly exercising their First Amendment rights to let folks know exactly how they feel. And so this will continue. Like I say, we're located literally just 2 blocks from this position right here. So I'm going to head on back to the studio, and we'll see what happens next. Will we see another social media post come from Donald Trump with regards to what's happening in Iran? They've been threatening, the United States has been threatening putting troops on the ground. You look at the polling data, Americans do not support putting troops on the ground in Iran. And so the jury is still out. So we're going to go to a break. We come back. We're going to talk about, hopefully we have our guests talk about the impact of this war in Iran on housing in this country. We're seeing an impact as well. So lots more to talk about. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Support the work that we do. Listen, I don't see any other Black-owned media out here. This is the work that we do. Your support is critical in supporting that work. And so please join our Bring the Funk fan club. The goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing on average $50 each a year. That's $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day. You want to contribute via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it on the screen. That's also for credit cards, checks, and money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 2003 7-0196. PayPal's R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo's RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. We'll be right back.
Why does it feel like we're going backward? Voting rights under attack, schools stripped of funding, Black history erased. This is the Trump MAGA agenda. They want to take us back. They are redrawing congressional lines in states across the country, deciding who gets power and who gets silenced. We see what this is, a power grab. Virginians won't be fooled. Show up, vote, take back our power. It's a temporary measure that gives the people, not politicians, the final say. Vote yes by April 21st.
With medicine and science under attack, I want to keep you and your family informed and healthy. I'm Dr. Ebony Hilton, and I knew at the age of 8 that I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied hard and became the first African-American female anesthesiologist hired at the Medical University of South Carolina since its opening in 1824. And I always say I was made into a doctor, but I was born to be a mom. And as a new mom, wife, sister, daughter, and friend, I understand how frightening a medical crisis can be. I care for individuals on some of the worst days of their lives, and it's my mission to provide you with a safe space to gain clarity on issues affecting your mind, body, and soul. I recognize that there are health disparities, particularly as it pertains to race, and I want to help bridge the gap between you and your healthcare providers. Join me every Thursday for Second Opinion on the Black Star Network, where each week I'll invite experts from various medical fields to share the latest health news. We'll discuss topics such as the vaccine debate, mental and sexual health, medical bias, infertility, menopause, andropause, nutrition, and aging. Together with my medical colleagues, we aim to provide you with a second opinion. Don't miss it, Thursdays only on the Black Star Network.
Protect your mind. I love you, son. And your mother. More than anything. And I'm gonna keep doing the best I can to prove it.
If you're seeing it in your mind, you can create it. Protect your mind, son. It's your greatest asset. Protect your mind.
Welcome to The Other Side of Change, only on the Black Star Network and hosted by myself, Rhea Baker, and my good sis, Jamira Burley. We are just two millennial women tackling everything at the intersection of politics, gender, and pop culture.
And we don't just settle for commentary. This is about solution-driven dialogue to get us to the world as it could be and not just as it is.
Watch us on the Black Star Network, so tune in to The Other Side of Change.
Virginia, we are counting on you. Republicans want to steal enough seats in Congress to rig the next election and wield unchecked power for 2 more years. But you can stop them by voting yes by April 21st. Help put our elections back on a level playing field and let voters decide, not politicians. This is the responsible thing to do. Help us chart a better path forward, Virginia. Vote yes by April 21st.
A decade of love, joy, and power. Black Voters Matter is 10 years old, and we are just getting started. This is love with a purpose. This is Black joy in motion. This is unstoppable power. Across campuses, neighborhoods, and back roads. Let's go! We show up, not just to vote, but to be seen, to be heard, to belong. We ride together. We organize together. We remind each other that our voices matter, because they always have. Black Voters Matter is about more than ballots. It's about housing and healthcare, clean water and living wages, education, reproductive freedom, and dignity. It's about turning pain into action, turning belief into movement, turning community into power. We don't wait to be invited. We bring the energy. We bring the love. We bring the people. Because when Black communities come together, we don't just survive, we thrive. This is how change happens. This is how history moves. We organize, we build, we win.
I'm Ryan Wilson, CEO and co-founder of The Gathering Spot, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
All right, folks, the attacks on DEI in this country is having huge ramifications in many places. It includes various groups on college campuses, affinity groups in corporate America as well. Donald Trump and MAGA, they've been attacking these organizations, claiming they discriminate. And what's happening is universities are scared to lose their federal funding. So as a result, they are bowing down to the wishes of these deranged MAGA folks and shutting these groups down. This is happening. We saw at Alabama where 2 magazines, one for people of color and one for women, was closed as a result of their anti-DEI position. Now we're seeing what is taking place at the University of Missouri. That's right. The crackdown is taking place. In July, the university will cease funding 5 identity-based student organizations, including the Legion of Black Collegians, which serves as the campus Black student government. In June, again, Trump's folks issued a memo warning that organizations that create, quote,
identity segregated spaces could be violating federal anti-discrimination laws. And following a review, the university identified the 5 groups, each focused on supporting marginalized students that they believe could be at risk of scrutiny by the Department of Justice, potentially threatening the school's federal funding. While these groups will no longer receive designated funds, the university has stated they will be able to apply for general funds like other student organizations. However, this change is expected to result in a significant decrease in funding. This year, the Legion of Black Collegians receive approximately $60,000, but next year it will be only eligible to apply for $3,000. Amaya Morgan is the current president of the Legion of Black Collegians, and Vice President Desmond Jones also joining us. Glad to have you all here. So, Amaya, this is obviously significant. Going from $60,000 to $3,000 impacts your programming.
Yes, it does. We put on a lot of big programs, such as we have our own homecoming week on campus, specifically because we're not included in the typical Mizzou homecoming. We have a Black Love Week in the spring to talk about Black love through family, through love, relationships, all that type of stuff. So these are big programs that we put on. So the money that they're trying to give us will not adequately support our program.
Listen, I went to PWI, Texas A&M University, and the reality is these organizations provide a sense of community, of family. It allows for Black students to be able to converse and partner with one another to be able to get through these largely white institutions.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely have a small amount of Black students on campus. We only make up nearly 1,500 Black students on campus versus 30,000 students overall at Mizzou. So we are facing a big issue with DEI, and cutting our funding will definitely impact our community.
Desmond, folks may remember a few years ago there were protests on the campus where even the football team aligned with Black students to talk about issues that they face. That led to a series of changes, the ouster of a couple of university leaders, and also a lot of folks stopped giving money to the university. And what I've been trying to explain to folks, that the goal of MAGA, they have been angry what took place in the aftermath of the death of George Floyd. They have been targeting Black folks. And what this is an effort to, what I keep saying, defund Black America.
Yeah, this could be a part of that. I feel like a lot of the concern, Student 1950, which is the protest you're speaking about, the pressure from there was like very student to student facing, and it had been building up an angst on campus. This is a little bit different because in that scenario, you're asking administration, hey, like, look at these things that are going on. Like, we need you to address the issues that are happening on campus. This attack is coming directly from our administration and from the decision makers who were able to, for us to be in existence and essentially defunding us, is a part of making sure we're no longer there.
Yeah, and obviously these universities, you look at the attacks on Ivy League schools, but also the attacks have gone all across the country. And this is Donald Trump and his maggots in the administration using their power to say, fine, y'all want to continue? We're going to pull federal funding. And Desmond, we're talking about universities. That's all research dollars. That's a whole lot of different areas, millions upon millions of dollars. And that's why universities are capitulating.
Yeah, one of the things that we addressed in our meeting was like funding concerns about like where our money will be reallocated to. One of the big concerns that we had is registering as an RSO, which would be the next option that they gave us. They ran out of funding for the University of Missouri earlier last month. So essentially no organizations can apply for funding anymore. So that's a big concern of ours of if they're running out of money now, how will that be allocated for the future for organizations if they can't sustain with organizations as on a small scale as they have now? How are orgs like the Legion of Black Legions who put on events that serve hundreds of people, how are they going to be funded for the future?
Questions from my panel. Larry, we'll start with you.
Yeah, guys, thanks for appearing today. And so what impact do you think this is going to have on recruitment and retention? You talk about the small numbers of Black students at your institution, and I'm teaching at PWI. And so are you already hearing from some students who are considering maybe transferring based on the response from the administration?
We definitely have had some huge concerns about retention and recruitment. And we brought that up in our meeting that we had together because the Legion of Black Collegians is what keeps students at the university. So for them not to take care of us, a lot of people are saying, incoming students are saying, I don't want to come to Mizzou. I'm changing my mind. I'm going to a different school. People are saying that they want to leave. But a lot of students here right now are realizing that there's a really strong need for community. So we haven't faced a lot of like, I should have transferred, but a lot of people saying like, let's stick together. Let's figure something out to make sure that our community can sustain. But definitely even before this decision, a lot of prospective students came in and said, well, there's no protections for students of color, so I don't want to go to the University of Missouri.
Randy.
I'm really just impressed with what you are doing and trying to do. Have you reached out to your Black alumni and what are they saying? Because I would think one great step would be any money that they were going to give to the university as a whole should be funneled to you somehow. And so that you can continue to give the Black students a community while they're on campus.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we've been looking towards. MBAM, which is the Alumni Association, specifically like that handles a lot of the Black alumni. We have been in contact with them, along with people who have been past presidents of the Legion. So we're working on funding strategies currently and getting as many people involved in our alumni and current attendance as well.
Great.
Mustafa?
Yeah, well, as everyone else said, congratulations and keep working hard. My question for you is, this is a really tough situation that you're currently going through. How do you all, find ways of healing, of being able to navigate this? I heard you mention community before, and I'm also curious if you have allies who are actually stepping up in this moment.
I would definitely say in this moment, I've learned more about community than I ever have in my entire time at Mizzou. There are so many allies. Yesterday at our town hall, we had nearly 2,000 people watching. Not only did we fill up the auditorium, there was people in the hallways, there were people in classrooms, there were people in rooms across campus watching our live stream so that they could hear when they could be watching a March Madness game right now. And so we have a lot of allies on campus, and we're just ensuring that, we still have our money in place for the rest of the year. So we're going to put on as much programming as we can for the rest of the year to ensure that we all feel like, it's not just dire death, destruction, traumatic events, but also we can have fun times. We can, have cookouts, we can have game nights, karaoke, all that good stuff.
All right, then. Well, we'll keep following these stories, and certainly good luck as y'all fight the good fight. We certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, folks.
Thank you.
Going to break. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Why does it feel like we're going backward? Voting rights under attack, schools stripped of funding, Black history erased. This is the Trump MAGA agenda. They want to take us back. They are redrawing congressional lines in states across the country, deciding who gets power and who gets silenced. We see what this is, a power grab. Virginians won't be fooled. Show up, vote, take back our power. It's a temporary measure that gives the people, not politicians, the final say. Vote yes by April 21st.
My name is Bill Duke, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Folks, time for Black Star Network headlines with Brittany Noble.
Voters in Northwest Georgia will soon learn who will represent them in Congress during a closely watched runoff election for the 14th congressional district seat. In the special election, voters are deciding who will succeed Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene, a former Trump loyalist who left Congress after a dispute with President Donald Trump. The candidates in the runoff are Black Democrat Sean Harris and white Republican Clay Fuller. Neither candidate secured a majority in last month's crowded special election, leading to this decisive showdown. Migos rapper Offset is recovering after being shot outside a Florida casino Monday evening. That incident occurred near the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Details surrounding the incident remain limited at this time, though it's indicated that Offset is fine, in stable condition, and being closely monitored. No arrests have been made related to the shooting. Well, if you remember, Offset's fellow Migos member was murdered in November of 2022 outside a Houston bowling alley. The family of Botham Jean has filed a lawsuit seeking the city of Dallas pay nearly $100 million in damages. It comes nearly 8 years after Jean was fatally shot in his apartment by former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger on September 6, 2018. Now, the two both lived in the same apartment community, and the suit recalls that the officer mistakenly entered Jean's apartment and, believing him to be an intruder, fatally shot him. She was found guilty of murder in October of 2019, and the civil trial in November of 2024 resulted in Jean's family being awarded damages. She appealed her murder conviction in 2020, but it was upheld by a Texas appeals court in 2021. And the suit filed in early March of 2026 claims that the city tried to cover staffing gaps by assigning officers to overtime work, leading to fatigue and increased stress. Now, the suit notes that Geiger had clocked out from a nearly 14-hour shift the night that she killed Jean. A black man named Carl Jordan Jr., who was convicted and later cleared of the murder of rap star Jam Master Jay from Run DMC, could be released within days after a judge granted him a $1 million bond on Monday. But Jordan is not being released immediately since he still faces unrelated drug charges. For the time being, he remains in custody while prosecutors decide this week whether to appeal the bond decision. If they choose not to appeal, he could be released as soon as his bond paperwork is processed. The judge decided after determining that there was insufficient evidence to hold Jordan accountable for Jay's murder. Prosecutors had accused him of killing the DJ and his godfather following a botched drug deal. In December of 2025, Judge D.R.C. Hall overturned Jordan's conviction and acquitted him while upholding the conviction of Ronald Washington, who was also found guilty in connection with Jay's death. Rising gas prices are prompting major carriers such as Amazon and FedEx and the United States Postal Service to implement fuel surcharges on package deliveries. Now, this increase in fuel costs is primarily due to ongoing conflict in Iran, which has driven oil and gas prices higher from the Strait of Hormuz, a key global shipping route was disrupted by the U.S. attacks in Iran. The situation is contributing to supply constraints and is expected to make delivery more expensive. While some companies have absorbed these additional costs into their services, starting April 17th, Amazon will introduce a temporary 3.5% fuel surcharge for its third-party sellers. Additionally, USPS will impose a temporary 8% price increase on certain shipments, including priority mail, beginning April 26. A Prince George's County, Maryland hospital will now pay a black woman $18 million for its lack of action, which caused her to lose her leg. In 2020, Jamie White, then 23, slipped on some ice, dislocating her knee. She was taken to Prince George's Hospital Center. The jury concluded that the two of her surgeries, they were delayed by caregivers for hours, causing oxygen deprivation to her leg. White underwent nearly 30 surgeries over 8 months just to try to save her leg, but nothing worked, and her leg had to be amputated above the knee. During the 5-week trial, her attorneys told jurors that a dislocated knee can cause vascular injuries that threaten limbs if not immediately treated. The hospital is defending the care its providers rendered to White, saying the evidence clearly showed that White was treated in a timely manner and the care rendered to her was excellent. Byron Allen, he will soon become the new face of late-night television. CBS has appointed the black media mogul as the replacement for The Late Show. His program, Comics Unleashed, will transition into a new late nighttime slot after Stephen Colbert's departure. Beginning May 22nd, that show will air at 11:35 p.m., moving up from its previous late night position. Following Comics Unleashed, another Allen-produced series, Funny You Should Ask, will be broadcast at 12:35 a.m. This transition represents a significant milestone for Allen, whose company, Allen Media Group, is purchasing airtime from CBS to feature these programs. Back to you, Roland.
All right, folks, just an update. Last night, after TMZ reported the Offset shooting, I texted his father, who told me that they had talked to him. He was okay. That him and his wife were flying to Miami to be with their son. So I'll be chatting with him a little bit later to get an update on what is happening with Offset. All right, folks. Be sure to watch The Breakdown every day with Brittany Noble. The Breakdown with Brittany Noble every day, noon Eastern, right here on the Black Star Network. Again, The Breakdown with Brittany Noble, noon Eastern every single day on the Black Star Network. Time for shopblackstarnetwork.com. All right, a lot of people talk about sustainability, and you'll certainly love my next guest who has turned this concept into wearable art. Made in Denim is an artisan jewelry brand that transformed recycled denim into unique modern pieces while helping to reduce textile waste. Tiffany Milan starts each piece with reclaimed denim, which she reimagines into textured, soulful, and contemporary designs. She joins us now from Brooklyn. Glad to have you here. All right, so it's all jewelry pieces that are out of denim. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead. So these are all jewelry pieces, and the base of them is denim.
Yes.
All right.
So I construct all of these pieces from recycled denim. I do the metal work as well. And I infuse recycled denim into different types of metals. I use gems, wood, leathers, and all other types of goods to produce this beautiful jewelry.
Where'd you get the idea?
I used to be a denim buyer, and I always used to wear, very large pieces of jewelry. And I had actually gone to one of my vendors, and in his studio, he had a 20-foot pile of denim, and expressed that with all of the scraps that they maintain, they send it off to third world countries, and it stays in their landfills for over 40 years. So that guilt of, what we used to do is cut up pieces of denim, sometimes just take by competitive market pieces and then throw it in the trash. And it really stuck with me. So I ended up taking my, love for fashion jewelry and combining it. And it actually it was a good 4 years of studying how to infuse it, because as you know, with the fabric, you put any kind of glue or some kind of wetness toward it, it, falls apart. And so it took me a while to master it, as well as I'm a very original person. If someone else is doing it, I don't want to do it. So I did a lot of research, and it turned out that I was actually the innovator of this style of jewelry.
It's interesting. When I was in Ghana, I met a sister, and they were actually doing that same thing with denim and also with plastic, because so a lot they were receiving so many articles of clothing from other different places, and it was overwhelming the country. And she said, "Let's reimagine how we do this." And so it really turned into something that I thought was really significant. And so, when did you first start doing this? And what was the reaction from friends, families, and others?
So I came up with the idea in 2008. And after, like I said, trying to master and see how it would work best, I launched my company in 2010. My mom is my biggest fan. She absolutely loved it. And, she wears denim all the time. And it was different to accessorize with something. They sell denim handbags and shoes, but no one had really done denim jewelry before. So she actually was, out and being my publicist and telling people about my brand. And I just did a lot of my own, work as far as pushing and trying to get people to see it. I joined Etsy because it was more of a hobby when I first started.
Right.
And I was the only person on that platform in 2010 who was doing denim jewelry. And then I started to see people follow afterwards. But still to this day, no one is doing it the way that I am. The way that I'm infusing it, it's more of an upscaled version of being able to wear denim, as opposed to, I'm into, definitely into recycling, and denim does have a rugged look to it.
Right.
But to have it more classy where, I'm dressed up today and I'm wearing it in an elevated way.
So we got, of course, we got the denim earrings right here, and then we've got the the necklace right here, and then of course the for the wrist as well. All right, pretty cool here. Questions from the panel. Randy, you first.
I love the jewelry you have on right now. Roland, it's funny you mentioned Ghana, because I was thinking about the upcycling. I saw the exact same thing with the jeans. Let me ask you, how do you have to care for it? Is it sturdy where it can last forever, or how do you care for the jewelry?
So what I've done, like I said, I've actually also coached other people who I know make similar pieces. They use kente cloth and other ways of making like sunglasses and denim and things like that. And so I've helped. What I do is I have a special process that, again, took me a few years to master, which is I actually treat the denim. First, I have to sanitize it. Then I treat it, and I created a special coating that is on it so that it's actually waterproofed. So I have, several different types of jewelry. More of the costume jewelry would be brass, that's gold plated or silver plated. But recently I've been doing more stainless steel so that it is tarnish resistant and lasts long. And the denim is waterproof. So, these earrings, for instance, the hoops that you guys have in the studio, I wear them in the shower. Sometimes I don't even take it off, and it lasts.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Mustafa.
Yeah, well, congratulations. And thank you for the sustainability aspect also. I know we've got about 500 million pair of jeans that go into the landfills or incinerated every year. So what you're doing is incredibly important. Mother's Day is coming up. If I walked into your shop or visited your site and asked you, what are some of your top sellers? What does that look like? What would your response be?
So what I've found is a lot of the gender neutral are big sellers because, anyone can wear them. Most of the bracelets are big sellers as well. But as far as gift wise, I noticed that people like to tend to go toward the denim and diamonds, especially because there are events that way, or the denim and pearls.
Okay. My mom will thank you.
Larry.
Yeah, can you talk about the process? I think you kind of skipped over a little bit, and you talked about that you do this on your own. So can you talk about how you developed that particular skill, and what's the timeline like when you go from start to finish in terms of the process?
Sure. So what I normally do is I'll take a pair of jeans, and these are all through donations. I highly encourage thrifting. If you have a pair of jeans that don't fit you, I encourage that someone else can wear those, and that's fine. What I use are the ones that would end up in a landfill, which are, torn jeans, a lot of children's jeans, things that would, thighs rubbed out, maybe damage to it with some sort of paint or something. So those I take, and then I have to establish what the fabric is actually consists of. So more of 100% cotton works best for me than anything that has a lot of spandex and lycra in it. And those are actually the ones that take the longest to break down in the landfill. So once I established that, I sanitized the denim, and then I created my own special coating that after I wash it, I place that coating on it, and then I have to put it through several ovens and heat treatments to make sure that it adheres. And then from there, as far as the jewelry pieces are concerned, those are all pre-made. So I make all of the metal work prior to the denim. And then once I figure out what style I want to do, because I do use different washes. I'll do acid wash for some some medium wash, dark wash. It all depends. Some denim that's fun to do is, things that have patterns in it, like a leopard print denim. And then I go from there and match it to the metalwork. And then I use another type of adhesive that I had to create and start to infuse it into the metal. And this is my finished product.
All right. Well, folks, listen, if y'all want to check out Tiffany's work, just do me a favor. Go to shopblackstarnetwork.com. Her items are right there on our shopblackstarnetwork.com website. You see it right there. You see all the different items. Go ahead and scroll. Keep going. You keep going. And so you can go there right now to check out her work and get Maiden Denim. So trust me, some great work there. And again, you can support her brand. You can support the other Black-owned companies that are on there as well. Tiffany, I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, then. And so good luck with it. So again, folks, go to shopblackstarnetwork.com. Support all our Black-owned businesses. We created this shopping place for you to be able to support Black-owned companies. So you can check out jewelry and skincare products and all kinds of stuff right there. Go to the marketplace section right there, shopblackstarnetwork.com. shopblackstarnetwork.com. Here's the last thing I want to talk about with my panel because I got a kick out of this. So today, I was looking at all these people were commenting on social media about a poll that came out, a Washington Post Shore School poll that showed that Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger, 47% of the people there support what she's doing, 46% disapprove. And all of these people have been posting on the site, Mustafa. They're like, oh my goodness, look at this. So she campaigned that she was going to focus on affordability, and here she is. She's 3 months in, and look at her polling numbers. They've cratered. Oh my God, she ran as a moderate, and what is she doing? And I just saw somebody else say, oh, see, you see how these Democrats run? They campaign as moderates. Then when they get in, they do all kinds of different stuff. You mean, really? Y'all need to go ahead and just stop with the nonsense. It's hilarious. Now, Mustafa, here's why I think this is hilarious. First and foremost, Democrats control the House in Virginia. They control the Senate in Virginia. They control the governor's mansion. Also, in Virginia, the governor only serves one term. So who gives a damn about an approval rating that's 47%? They can run the table. Who cares? Approval ratings only matter in many cases when you have a split House or you're a Democratic governor and you got to negotiate with a Republican House in a Senate. She doesn't have to. And so it goes to shows you, and a lot of this also has to do with the fact this 10-1 referendum that early voting is taking place right now. It's going to take place on April 21st, where they will have a temporary change of the congressional maps where Democrats can potentially pick up 4 House seats in the U.S. Congress. Obviously, Republicans in Virginia don't particularly like it. And, Democrats are lukewarm, but based upon polling, 52% support it. All they need is 50.5% to actually win. So, or 50.1 to 49.9. It don't matter. You still are going to win. So it just cracks me up how the political media folks, it's amazing how they love to hold Democrats to one standard by saying, oh, look at this. She campaigned as a moderate, and look how she's campaigning. Well, Glenn Youngkin campaigned as a moderate, and then when he became governor, drove a MAGA agenda. And your point?
Yeah, we just got a different set of expectations that are out there. And it is interesting because folks got to understand that it takes a little bit of time to actually get in place the sets of, priorities that you have. And so folks need to just make sure that they're being supported. We should always push our elected officials to live up to the sets of promises that they did. But we also got to understand that there's an even larger ecosystem that's going on the federal level. And we see interest rates going up. We got this housing crisis that's going on. So, we've got to continue to just stay focused and support our candidates. If you voted for this person, then, you need to ride with them for a little while, but you also hold them accountable.
I was seeing all of these comments, Randy, and I was kind of like, y'all know this is irrelevant. It's really irrelevant. And I'm like, Okay, what did y'all say when when the House and the Senate actually passed a living wage? Oh, I'm sorry, is that supposed to be called leftist? People having a living wage? Okay, got it. All right. I mean, when Youngkin was governor, when Senator Louise Lucas shut down the building of a stadium. Oh, well, what is that? Leftist? Is that right? Is that conservative? What actually is that? I mean, I just need people to understand. Like some stuff just stupid, and political reporters love to make a mountain of a molehill. I'm sitting there going, if you're Spanberger, who gives a damn about an approval rating when you can drive your agenda because you control all levers of government? Last I checked, that's what Republicans do when they have power. They actually run and use their power.
Right. But we know that there are many news stations and reporters who try to create a story where there is none. They have to make up some news sometimes. And I also believe that many are trying to focus on the Democrats because they want to distract all that's going on with the Republicans as they're crumbling, as their leader has lost his absolute mind, as MAGA is disappointing many of their followers. I think they have to find something to say about Democrats to look like it's the still balanced, normal world where where there's two parties. No, the stories right now should be about what's happening with MAGA and the Republican Party. That's really the real news. They're just creating some sort of drama to talk about the Democrats and act as if we're also having issues. Whereas right now, I think, nothing we could do could compare to what's going on in their house.
Yeah, I'm just like, Larry, like, I'm sorry, I can't, like, take this seriously. Who cares? Again, she's got one term. Approval ratings matter if you're trying to run for re-election. All right? You got 4 years. Whatever.
Roland, it's a moot point. Like you said, yeah, obviously Virginia's a lot different than most other states in terms of the governorship. And like you said, you have one term to get it done. The other thing is a couple months out to look at polling it's really, you really want a year out to see where things are. But the bottom line is if you've run on a certain platforms or implementing, working, like you talk about working in the House and Senate and getting those things passed, that really all that matters. Because as a politician, you go always circle back around and say, well, I said I ran on this and this is what I'm delivering for, the residents of state of Virginia. But, ultimately, like I said, it really doesn't matter. All the thing, Roland, is, I lived in D.C. a long time, worked on the Hill. We talk about politics all the time. This is a within the Beltway story. Let's be clear about that. No one outside the Beltway or most of the state of Virginia care about that. This is a political pundit story. And like you said, she'll be fine and continue to implement her agenda by working with members of both houses.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. I was kind of like, I really don't care. I really don't care. I just need the public to understand. This is when people do polls. Polls are also driven for the purpose to create a media narrative and for other media to pick up. That's what a lot of those polls are there. Doing a poll on Abigail Spanberger, who's been in the governor's mansion for 2 months, 3 months? A true waste of time. But Washington Post, whatever floats your boat. That's great. All right, that is it for us. Tomorrow, Larry, Randy, and Mustafa, is Henry Hank Aaron Day. Of course, Henry Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record, 715 career home runs on yesterday. And so I'll be rocking his number 44 jersey tomorrow. So I want to shout out. And just so y'all know, he preferred Henry Aaron. It was the white folks who called him Hank, but his real friends called him Henry Aaron. He was like, my mama named me Henry. My daddy named me Henry. My name wasn't Hank. So just want to let y'all know when people talk about Hank Aaron, no, Henry Hank Aaron, if you're going to say it. But that was what his preference was. And so we'll, of course, play an interview I did with him. We were at John Hope's Global Hope Forum, and also there was a panel that took place between Henry Aaron and Andrew Young. We're gonna restream that as well. That great conversation with them. So, Larry, thanks a lot. Randy, thanks a bunch, and Mustafa, appreciate it as well. Thank you so very much, Randy. You always get to have fun when you in the presence of three alphas.
Yes, of course.
This is how we do it. Larry, go ahead and throw it up so she can see. So we see all this at one time. See? Go ahead. See, Randy?
So overwhelmed.
Whatever. All right, y'all. That's it. I appreciate y'all being today's panel. Thanks a lot. Folks, that is it for us. I appreciate y'all joining us. We started a little bit late. We were covering the protests down the street and getting all of our technical stuff straight. But I appreciate y'all sticking with us. Do me a favor. Support the work that we do. Join our Brittany Funk fan club. Actually, before we do that, we talked about the 10-1 was happening in Virginia on Thursday. We're going to be at Virginia State University in Petersburg, Virginia. So we want y'all to come out, check us out. Great panel lined up for us to have a conversation about what's happening in Virginia, including that 10-1 referendum. Then, of course, Norfolk State will be there at Front Live doing the show on Friday. Look forward to that as well. So Virginia State on Thursday, Norfolk State on Friday. Folks, support the work that we do. Join our Brittany Funk fan club. Your support is critical to the work that we do. You want to contribute via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here. Also, that's for credit cards, checks, and money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 200370196. PayPal, R. Martin Unfiltered, Venmo, RM Unfiltered, Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com, Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Yo, get our Black Star Network. Actually, download the app. Download the Black Star Network app. Apple phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Samsung Smart TV. Be sure to get our swag. Yo, I'm telling y'all, and I want to see y'all. Y'all send me an email or post it on social. I'll give you a shout out. We got our great shirts. Don't blame me. I voted for the black woman. MAGA chose between woke or broke. They chose broke. Black-owned media matters. How you died does not redeem how you lived. You go to get our hats and shirts and zip-ups, all that good stuff. Go to shopblackstarnetwork.com. Lots of great products on the site. And, of course, if you want to support our black-owned businesses, a lot of great businesses. Mate and Denim, we just had them on the show. Go to our marketplace right there on shopblackstarnetwork.com. When you are buying products there, you're supporting this show, you're supporting these black-owned companies. We do this to give folks a platform to sell their goods. Because, listen, a lot of these black-owned companies do not have not just big marketing budgets, they don't have any marketing budgets at all. So the ability for us to be able to promote them is important, and of course for you to be able to support them as well. We got some great stuff in there, stuff that you always get, like toilet paper. Leafy toilet paper is there. They have tissue as well, and we got other products. I mean, car wax solutions, car cleaning solutions. I mean, hair care products, skin care products, all kind of great stuff. And so we want y'all to check it out right there on shopblackstarnetwork.com. Be sure to look at the breakdown with Brittany Noble every day, noon Eastern, right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Remember, our new health show, Second Opinion with Dr. Ebony Hilton, drops every Thursday on the show as well, on the network as well. And so support the work that we do. All right, y'all, that's it. I'll see y'all tomorrow right here, Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Holla!